Hey everybody, welcome to Technically Unraveled. I'm Kristen Fehrenbach, your Senior Director of Microsoft Go-to-Market here at Pax8. Thanks for joining week over week. Wow, it has been a busy week. I just got back from Directions North America, which is a Dynamics event. It was absolutely incredible to spend time with all the partners there. I know I talked to a few of you that actually join the show weekly, so thanks so much. Want to make sure that everybody's staying up to date. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, do all those super cool things, keep up week after week. We actually have 3 shows that air every week now, so you don't want to miss out on those. All right, let's go ahead and jump right into the updates because we got a lot of them for you this week. First and foremost, want to make sure we're talking about hands-on labs. Now, these are free North American, Canadian partners. Want to make sure that you sign up for those. We've had a really, really great attendance rate. Some of them might be full, but then you can actually sign up for the wait list. Please make sure you sign up. We've had really, really good reviews from these. So want to make sure that we just call those out. And if you have any questions, please reach out to your account team. They'll help you get set up. Otherwise, like always, and I'm not going to say it 300 times this week, everybody, but links are all down below. Now, MCA attestation. One day I'm going to get this right. It's not today, but Microsoft will start sending emails to the new end customers to Pax8. So basically, Microsoft's going to start notifying your partners or your end customers that this has been accepted on their behalf. So these updates are going to start on 4/15. That is coming up. Actually, it just passed. So guys, they're already updating you. I can't even keep up with these dates. Want to make sure that you know as these are being accepted. They're actually emailing them directly right now. So if you have questions, want a little bit more information, make sure you just reach out to your account team. They have all of that. But anytime that Microsoft's going to reach out to your end customer, we want to make sure that you know about it. Now, GDAP update. Want to make sure we call this out because right now you can actually move over to GDAP from DAP. Now, if you as partners, you don't act, Microsoft is going to start that transition for customer tenants on May 22nd. So right about a month. Make sure that we are all on the same page with GDAP. I know there's been a lot of questions. There's a GDAP blog. Ashley Moretti and our programs team, they go through a lot of this. And you're actually going to be able to find out more because we've got a lot of upcoming events. So Modern Workplace Bootcamp. That's next week. It's virtual. Make sure that you sign up. There's still time. There's still room for you to join. It's going to be a really great showing. Britton, who you've seen on the show time and time again, she's going to be there. A lot of our professional services team, they all jump on. In addition to that, we've got our Microsoft monthly update. So this is where we're going to talk GDAP. This is where we talk all of those different subjects that you might have questions. And you have live interaction with our whole entire Microsoft team. So everybody's on the back end answering questions like crazy, but that's going to be May 1st. So if you go to pax8.com/events, you can sign up for both of those. Want to make sure I call it out because I feel like that deadline's coming. And I am shocked that today is already towards the end of April, guys. Beyond is coming. I'm going to be there. A lot of our team's going to be there. Microsoft's a sponsor. You've got AWS. You've got SentinelOne. You've got all of these people that are going to be there. So please make sure you sign up for Beyond. I would love to see you there. Now, for another one that's not actually a Pax8 event, but we have a big part in making sure that we are delivering content to you as partners because it's a lot. Microsoft Inspire is coming up. Now, if you've not attended a Microsoft Inspire, jam-packed, full of content. So want to make sure you're signing up. You can go ahead and put all those different courses that you want to attend in your backpack. If you know what I'm talking about, you've probably attended before. Hey, if you don't have time to attend all these sessions, please don't worry. Us as Pax8, we go through, we watch all of these sessions. We have blogs, we've got live recaps, we've got lots of stuff that we're going to be doing to make sure we're delivering that content to you. But please do go ahead and still sign up because you can always go back and watch them. So I know that was a lot of updates today. Thanks for hanging through those. I want to go ahead and bring on Jake. I know we talked a little bit about ProServe, so thanks for joining us.
Hey, Kristen. Great to be here as always.
Excellent. So I think this is third time, maybe?
Third time, and you keep bringing me back for some reason.
Because I love having you on, Jake. So thanks for joining us. Tell us what you do here at Pax8, just in case they didn't catch one of the previous shows.
Yeah, I am the manager of cloud solutions on the modern workplace and security side. So what I do is actually manage the team of engineers that will do a bunch of the work of things that we're going to kind of talk about today. So without spoiling too
Excellent.
much.
No, good stuff. So, okay, Jake, I feel like sometimes I skip it because I get a little excited to jump right into the content, but I really need a fun fact from you, like a really fun fact.
The really fun fact, that's a good safe fun fact about me, is going to be when I was 17, I actually set a county fair record for most hot wings eaten in 10 minutes at 78. So
78.
78.
That's got to
I
have
didn't
like
say
a
I felt
strategy
great
behind
afterwards.
it. My God.
You pretty much just get the whole wing in there and just pull. You scrape with your teeth and just call it good.
78 wings. Okay. Wait, I feel like you prefaced this because you said my safe fun fact. Is there like a moderate fun fact?
My moderate fun fact is that I am currently looking for a new dentist because my current one allegedly is being charged with first degree murder. So if anyone in the Denver area knows a good one, I'm looking.
Okay. Well,
Was that a bit
I
more moderate
guess
for you? I told you I tried to play
I,
it safe.
yeah, I'm like, okay, well, I guess in the chat, go ahead and drop your dentist recommendations in Denver for Jake.
Yeah, anybody in chat who's got a Denver area dentist they're looking for, that I'm in the
Oh,
market.
amazing.
So
Okay, Jake. I don't know how to make this
there's some fun.
transition, but let's go ahead and talk about what is ProServe.
All right. Well, while I kind of broke Kristen, I'll kind of go ahead and just dive into ProServe. Um, ProServe is kind of just short for our professional services team, where we will kind of help partners out and partners and end clients actually go through and perform some project based work. So we keep everything kind of in those lines within the Microsoft ecosystem. Primarily, especially my end, I focus on mail migrations of going on premise and up to Office 365, tenant to tenant changes. Also deal with Intune pieces. We'll deal with kind of the setup, training, consultations, all of those type of things, as well as security components. Our whole team will really kind of help find any of those end-to-end solutions. We also do have an Azure side team as well, who can help either turn up greenfield deployments, get new servers in there, help migrate servers up into Azure, and kind of keep all those components, either currently running or revamped, whatever's really needed.
Got it. Got it. So I feel like ProServe does a lot, but when you look at our partners, is there a certain partner type that should be using ProServe, or who's ProServe for?
I always love to say a pro search for everybody. We're not going to really hold out on anybody. We're not going to say, no, you're not a fit for us. We are definitely happy to help anybody who needs the help. That all being said, the people who we probably match up with the most are kind of the smaller market MSPs, who maybe have some clients where either they're dipping their toe into some new technology and they're just not quite comfortable doing a full deployment for their clients, or the larger environments where it's like, hey, we're overloaded. We just need some bodies to help us do some of the mail migration pieces. We can't keep pulling people away from other projects. So kind of the manpower idea. So really, and also everywhere in between. So manpower, knowledge gap, or just really, want to have kind of that, just comfort level of just having someone there with them to help them with those type of engagements.
Wow. So, okay.
Like I said, everybody.
You really did hit on that. So, I mean, if they're saying like, hey, we've just got too much going on, ProServe
Mhm.
works. If they're saying, I might be new to Azure and want a little
Yep.
bit of help, ProServe is still there.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are probably the two most common scenarios: is we're either overloaded, or I just don't know enough about this and need help getting it there.
Okay. So then why should the partners use ProServe? Because I feel like there's probably different options, right? So what makes Pax8
Yeah.
ProServe different than other professional services or something of that same sort?
Yeah, a lot of it is just kind of that over the shoulder type of assistance because no matter the type of engagement that we do, we are always directly involved with you as the partner and kind of make sure, especially from an MSP's perspective, that can be a huge benefit because we are always making sure to go partner and client relationship first over our own. So where that is a massive benefit is we are always making sure that the partner is taking their relationship with the client to the next level, just utilizing us. And if there's that knowledge gap piece, or if there is that, hey, we don't have the manpower for this, we're making sure that you're not having that gap in there of, well, hey, we could do this mail migration. It's pretty straightforward. We've done them in the past, but we're on a 3-month timeline. Well, get Pax8 involved.
Wow.
Our
Okay.
professional services is 2 weeks out. So we can kind of help, bolster that relationship and say like, hey, you're not going to have to worry about someone bouncing out because your timelines are too far out. Or again, that knowledge gap piece, I think is maybe one of my favorites to kind of really step in on because obviously the technology landscape is changing by the minute, especially from a security perspective, from a modern workplace perspective.
I
It's
can't
changing
agree more.
pretty much. Yeah, I'm sure you've seen, it changes by the time you get your newest update, a new update already came out. So we are able to really stay on top of those for you and kind of help you say like, hey, let's do this Intune deployment as an example. And, not only are we going to show you how we did this, we're going to do it kind of quickly and kind of make sure it's up and running. So you're not having to go through a bunch of documentation, say, I need to learn this, and then I need to stand it up, and then I need to deploy it. It's more of a, hey, let's stand it up. We'll
Got it.
show you how we stood it up. We'll get it deployed out with you, and we'll make sure it works and show you, hey, this is how you can be successful in the future to either do this on your own, or, hey, this is another way we can kind of go through and do everything ourselves. So,
Oh, that's incredible. Well, I have some good news for you, Jake, because Laura apparently has a great dentist. So reach out to Laura. Maybe Laura will send you that dentist over
right.
LinkedIn and you guys can, you'll have a new dentist intact. It will be great. And Matt Lee, do they have to be cleared of merger charges? Okay, we're going to get you a new dentist by the end of the show, Jake. Don't worry about that. Now, okay, we know what ProServe is. We know kind of what you guys do. We kind of know why you should use it. But I want to talk about specific use cases and what are maybe some specific problems that ProServe can solve, because I feel like if we just say, hey, we can do it all, that's kind of the broad stroke that I want a little more detail. Give me a little more detail.
Yeah. Yeah, we really kind of cover 4 primary sections, what we call it. Obviously, it kind of boils down to a lot more than that. But it's really uh, starting off with like cloud architecture and enablement. That's going to be kind of the full Azure space. Hey, we want to get servers up and running. We maybe want to get out of the hardware business. We want to start getting things up in the cloud and just make things a little more accessible. Obviously, remote workforces are becoming a very big thing. Getting people out of offices is becoming a lot larger. So why should your server stay in office? So we can go through and we can actually build out a full cloud architecture for you. Say, hey, this is what you were running. This is what you can run. Here's savings you can bring in with that. And here's kind of just how to manage it and go through all those pieces from the Azure space. So
Awesome.
that's kind of very high level. There's obviously a lot more that can go into there, but try not to make this last 3.5 hours. So.
No, I think that's great because I think that especially when you say Azure, if somebody's maybe just transacting modern workplace, it's a great stepping stone to get into Azure because I know that people are looking to, optimize costs and scale down and moving into a new cloud workload solution. Guys, I think I drank it too fast. Okay. So a new cloud workload solution can be a little bit scary sometimes. And that stepping stone is great. Okay. So that's point 1 of 4. What's our next one?
The next one is going to be migration services. So this is pretty much our bread and butter. This is where we really excel in everything. Definitely our most common solution that we bring in. This includes a bunch of things along the lines of like mail migration, again, going from an on-premise Exchange server up in Office 365, or maybe from a hosted Exchange solution or like Rackspace that maybe people want to move away from. We can move any of those into the Office 365 environment, not just mail, looking at SharePoint data as well, Teams, OneDrive. Again, we also do a lot of tenant to tenant moving. So people are breaking out from GoDaddy hosting, where it is Office 365 based. We can help get them to Office 365 only solution. So really kind of helping get those components all through and just say like, hey, let's just shift you to workforce that's going to work a little bit better for you.
Can you talk to me a little bit about the Azure migration funding that we're doing globally, actually? Because I know that a lot of us, we're continuing to talk about it because I think it's a great offering.
Mhm. Yeah, obviously that's going to be kind of on a little bit of a different team, but it is one of those that I've gotten to kind of witness quite a bit of. We will actually kind of help and utilize Microsoft funding to kind of say like, hey, if we are migrating something into the Azure space, we can actually have Microsoft, for lack of better terms, kind of just pay for it and just say like, hey, let's kind of get these things going. This has to match some specific criteria around making sure data itself, is being moved, something is actually being migrated. It's not a clean new environment, but hey, let's get you up in Azure, and then also let's help kind of fray out some of that cost, because sometimes those moves for large old environments that have 20 servers that still need to be in play, that can be an expensive move. So we can actually have Microsoft assist with that.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So we have cloud architecture enablement. We talked about migrations.
Mhm.
We're ready for 3.
All right, number 3. It's one of my personal favorite ones is the security strategies. Also, some additional enablement components there, where this is really just kind of more security specific focused. This is going to be kind of your pieces of, hey, we need to get Defender for Office up and running. Maybe it's going to be some spam filtering options. Maybe it's going to be DLP, safe links, safe attachments, all of those fun things that kind of come in with Business Premium that's still new for a lot of folks, as well as like what are some good practices of getting an Intune environment set up without just saying like, hey, let's turn it up and call it good. Just being able to kind of get through a little bit more of a secure deployment as opposed to the kind of somewhat classic idea of it's up there and it's in a solution, so it's probably fine. It's getting people geared more towards, hey, maybe we'll bring in a little bit more policy, maybe bring in a little bit more management to kind of tighten up our environment a little bit more. We'll do
Sure.
actual turn-ups of policies. We'll actually do trainings on some of those. We'll do consultations, and kind of make sure that whomever is taking over this environment is comfortable managing it and comfortable making adjustments for their clients as well.
That's awesome because, I mean, look, we talk about moving to business premium pretty often because of all the security features, but that doesn't just mean just because I have the SKU, it's secure, right? And this would actually assist in that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just one of those ideas of, hey, you can have Microsoft 365 E5 licensing, but if you're not enabling the features in it, what are you doing with it? So we're able to kind of help bridge those gaps of like, just because you have the licensing doesn't mean it's keeping your environment secure. We'll actually kind of make sure that the environment's kind of becoming a bit more secure for you, while also keeping
Awesome.
client business objectives in mind.
Oh, incredible. Okay. Last one.
Yeah, last one. This one is the catch-all. This is custom projects. So this is, anything outside of those pieces where we're actually going through and saying like, hey, well, you're not matching a specific scenario here. Let's build a scenario for you. Maybe you need a bit of everything. Maybe you have a very specific need. Maybe you're looking for zero trust modeling. Maybe you're looking for something that's not our standard deployment models. We'll actually go through and we'll get that set for you. We will actually go in and kind of find out what your specific needs are, whether it's, hey, you want us to implement and train and consult and kind of find all these other options. We'll throw it all into one engagement. So that way we're not having to bounce around a couple of different topics, you're not having to bounce around to different people or different departments and doing it months at a time. We can do it kind of in just one sweeping engagement and keep things moderately
Nice.
straightforward, straightforward as the platform will allow us to be.
Excellent. So that's just, hey, you know what? It could be super complex. It could be over
Mhm.
different cloud solutions. So that's kind of just your catch all saying, let's just make sure that we're really partnering with you on your overall business plan to make sure that we're aligned.
Yeah,
Excellent.
exactly. Yep.
And we had a question in the chat and Dark Web Monthly. What does SKU stand for? So when we talk about different SKUs, that is going to be, we have Business Premium, we've got Microsoft E5. So that's actually going to be the specific one that you're purchasing. And there's many different SKUs. So I know that your account team works with you to make sure that you have the right ones. But also, we make a lot of recommendations saying, hey, you want to tighten up security, you probably need to move into business premium, and this is why. So that's a great question. Now, Jake, do I
Yes.
just give them your cell phone number? How do we help and how do we integrate within Pax8 and the account team?
Yeah, all you really have to do, if you're a current partner of Pax8, you just have to go into our Pax8 platform, submit the $0 engagement SKU, and just let us know your request. And then we get everything sorted out to the proper team from there. And I'll speak to your account manager and get everything kind of brought along to us.
Got it. So they go on the platform, $0 SKU. So they're not really committing to anything. They're just showing that interest. And then they get the outreach, and then it's really the build from there.
Yep, absolutely.
Is there a catch?
Sounds simple, doesn't it? No, not at all.
Okay. I'm
Might
going to
get stuck
trust
with
you on
me.
this
That
one.
could be a catch sometimes, but
I mean, after the dentist story, we'll see, right?
I knew I should have kept that one to myself.
You prompted it though, and it got me a little interesting. And it's funny. I was reading in the chat
All right.
earlier. They wanted to know how hot were the wings.
I mean, they were pretty standard. I mean, they weren't cold.
Like a mild buffalo.
I would class them as medium high. Not the hottest ever, but
Ooh.
not nothing.
And 78 of them.
I was
Okay.
17 and an animal. What can I say?
I'm still stuck on this. Okay, you're an ant. Yep. Okay. So I know look, you're not getting away now. This is your third show, Jake. I know we're going to continue talking about professional services. We talk about Intune. We talk about security. Now, common scenarios that ProServe really wants to offer. I want to just talk about, give me a couple of those. What are your most common things that we're really working on with some partners right now?
Yeah. We already talked about mail migration. That was pretty straightforward. That's, again, one that we do the most common things with. We also do some Microsoft 365 advisories, where that's just a little bit of training crash courses of, hey, here's the basics of Azure AD, Intune, all those things. One of the newer things that we're getting a lot of requests on that we're building out as well is actually a new business premium offering. So it's actually going to be kind of based around a rapid adoption, where if you have business premium licensing, it's going to be kind of just a flat fee costing with this one, where we're going to be able to go through and just enable some specific components around like phishing resistant MFA. We'll be able to go through and set up some conditional access policies where if anybody here has ever been to any of our boot camps, they have heard me talk just nonstop about conditional access, probably to the point where people don't want to hear about it anymore. But yeah, we'll go through and actually just enable in some of those policies. We'll do some Windows device securing through Intune as well. We'll use something called the cloud configuration, where it's basically one of Microsoft's kind of just default experiences of, hey, we don't know what policies we want, but we want to go through and enable that. The really important part is that this is all going to actually align with CIS controls as well, so it can kind of help check a lot of those boxes for people who are looking to bring in a framework alignment as well. So actually going through, and I'm sure Matt Lee is out there probably smiling somewhere, hearing
and Shell Phillips, I know
CIS
he
controls.
is too.
Oh, absolutely. Those guys can't get enough of it, and for a good reason. Yeah, and just kind of making sure we're aligning with a lot of those categories and just kind of bringing in not just the platform itself, but also bringing in some secure enablements for BYOD components, collaboration components, teams, all of those things, and make sure it's not just, hey, this environment's up. It's going to be, this is also being used properly. So just kind of being able to go a little more, all inclusive there. So that's a very big component that we're bringing in.
All right. So any tips on how to maybe avoid some of these common problems? Because I mean, you said it, it's got to be implemented. It's got to be done right. And I mean, BYOD, that's an extra complexity. So do you have any tips for us?
Yeah, a lot of the tips are going to be pretty obvious ones, but there's still ones that are missed quite a bit. The big one is going to be just assess your licensing. I tell people once a quarter, reassess your licensing. A very common option that I see people kind of fall into is, you get the complaints of like, hey, Microsoft is so expensive and here's all of our licensing. And then you find out that, they had an original Exchange only license and then so many different add-ons that it's $40 per person per month when it could have been business premium for $22 per person per month. So reassessing licensing, that's something that we always go through and we assist with as part of our engagements. We look through and kind of say, hey, we want to make sure that you're using the licensing that's right for you. For one, to make sure you're getting all the features that you need, but also make sure you're not just going crazy with licensing, because there's never a good experience when you're going a little too nuts with licensing.
And you don't want to overpay. And I mean, I think that's the thing is that, I never want to see partners that are paying for things that are already included either. Like if you're already paying for it once and it's a great solution, let's make sure that you're utilizing it to the full capability, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So go ahead.
Oh, no. Did you have something else?
No, you go. No, I'll go. Okay, fine. I'll go.
Okay.
I'll go. Okay. So how can partners just get the absolute most out of the professional services team? Because I feel like, are there any is there anything else that we need to know? That way partners can make sure they're utilizing anything from your team entirely.
Yeah, the biggest thing that people can really do is if you're not sure what professional services can do for you, submit that engagement SKU. That engagement SKU is it's $0, so you don't have to do anything. It goes right into our discovery queue. And then we just sort out needs from there. Our discovery calls are always free, so we don't charge to go into these calls. And then you just go through your request. Let us know what we can do for you. And even if it's something that maybe, it's one of the small few items that we don't support today, it gives us that insight of like, cool, this is a request. This is something we need to maybe start getting into quite a bit. We got to train up our own folks on and kind of get all of them more trained up so we can offer it. So kind of just having that developmental insight helps us a ton, as well as being able to provide that to our partners in the future. So that's the
I like
best
it.
way to get the most out of us, is just find out what your client needs are, find out maybe where your gaps are as an MSP, and just say, hey, this is where I need to improve. I bet professional services can help with that, whether it's training,
Awesome.
actually doing some of this, doing ride along pieces. So that's how you do it.
Excellent. So, okay, we talked a little bit out in the updates about our Microsoft Modern Workplace Bootcamp. It's coming up next week.
Mhm.
I know we talk a lot about, Intune. We talk a lot about all these different things. Now, my first thought here is like, let's connect these two. Let's make sure the partners are going to this virtual boot camp,
Mhm.
right? Maybe getting a little
Yeah.
excited about something and then saying, hey, you know what? I might not be ready to implement it, and going in and maybe doing that SKU. That's going to be my
Yeah.
recommendation. Do you agree here?
Absolutely. Starting off with our boot camps is kind of one of the best ways to just really get acclimated to Pax8 in general, not even just professional services. But trust me, if you ever go to a boot camp and you haven't been before, you will hear us get plugged, because it is one of our favorite things to do as a department. So we're always there talking
Excellent.
about it.
And I think it's great because I know we also talk about, we've got a Azure demystification, we've got Dynamics demystifications. We don't have a modern one, but I think that you can kind of just jump right into these boot camps. And
Mhm.
we try to make sure that these are really technical. But if you have any questions, there's always people around to help. So I love all the trainings that we do. And I think a lot of it leads right into your team. So thanks so much for
Mhm.
doing that. And this chat over here is killing me because Matt Lee says that he lost his sense of spice after COVID. So I feel like we need a
Oh,
wing
then he should be
eating
able to go nuts then.
contest. It's a wing eating contest. That's what we've got to tee up here. And whoever wins is
All
the
right.
wing man.
All right. Well, I mean, I like it and hate it at the same time. So good job with the branding
Excellent.
on that one.
Okay, he agrees. Matt, you're in. Jake's in. I don't know. I think it would be a great time. Jake, I don't know why you keep coming back, but I appreciate it because you continue to bring so much knowledge to the show. So thank you so much.
Always love being a part of these, Kristen. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, Jake, we'll see you next time. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us today on Technically Unraveled. We talked a lot about professional services. There were a lot of updates in the beginning. Please make sure that you are liking, sharing, subscribing. We're going to have a lot of stuff coming up over the next few weeks. But I do want to call out, we have a new show with our Academy team. So we've got shows on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays. You've got Chris Kaiser, you've got Rex, you've got Matt, you've got Dom. I'm here with you on Thursdays. Guys, I look forward next week to talking to one of our new employees. It's David Powell. He's a new VP in our org. I think you're going to get a lot of stuff from him next week, so make sure you tune in. We'll see you then. Bye, everybody.